Anthology on the bad, the short-lived, and forgotten television shows and events in TV history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
Sir Charles, your wish has been granted. The blue light means that you get, guess what? What? A second chance. Isn't that nice?
Episode 535, submission number 2483, the garbage-picking, field goal-kicking Philadelphia phenomenon. The garbage-picking, field goal-kicking Philadelphia phenomenon was a TV movie that aired as an episode of The Wonderful World of Disney on ABC from February 15th, 1998.
February 15th, 1998. So they didn't air a late Valentine's Day movie. They thought, well, people are so sad that football's over because the Pro Bowl would have been the previous week. So let's give them some football to make it up for there's no football this week. It's 1998. And the Philadelphia Eagles are just there in the NFC East.
6-9-1. Believe it or not, they tied a game.
Wow. They had one tie.
I'm surprised you weren't commenting about the 6 and the 9 part. 6, 9, and 1.
Well, the one just ruins it, Mike. I mean, get your head out of the gutter.
I don't know any of you guys.
Look, I'm trying to say something. Who quarterbacked the Eagles in 97?
I wouldn't be surprised if the backup was Doug Peterson, because I know he was in Philadelphia for quite some time.
That's what I'm wondering, too.
I'm on the case.
Now, I know Ray Rhodes was the coach at this time in his second season.
The starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles in 1997 was Ty Detmer.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Of Latter-day Saints. Get it? Because Ty Detmer played for BYU.
He's a Mormon.
Rodney Peete played third-string quarterback.
Oh, wow. I bet Holly was at some of the games.
Wait, hold on. They went through 3 starting quarterbacks that year. Ty Detmer, he started 7 games. Rodney Peete started 3 games. Here's a blast from the past who started the other 6 games. Bobby Hoying.
What?
Bobby Hoying started 6 games for the Eagles in the 1997 season.
Oh, my word.
I'd call him Ohio State legend, Bobby Hoying, but he's not an Ohio State legend. But Ricky Waters, he was the leading rusher. And Irving Fryer was the leading receiver. I don't remember him being with the Eagles. It seems like he played with New England forever.
Yeah, well, he was playing as recently, I think, as 2000 with Washington.
Well, that makes sense because he would have been drafted, I think, in 85. So that's, 15, 16 seasons. I can believe it. And Football Reference backs you up on that. It does say he played for the Redskins in 1999 and 2000.
But okay, we could talk about Irving Fryer. We could talk about Rodney Peete. That's not why we're here. Somebody at ABC decided, let's make a movie with Tony Danza where he's a garbage man in Philadelphia, where through some circumstances, he somehow becomes a kicker for the Eagles.
I can tell you who that somebody is. Tim Kelleher, who up until that moment was an actor and a writer known as a technician in Independence Day, another technician in 13 Days, and the voice of Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh my God, the Turtles in Time movie. Now, let me just say this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 is absolute shit. Now, Mike, take my word for it. Okay? It is shit. Don't ever watch it. Okay? Don't ever watch it. Ever.
I didn't have plans to watch it.
Good.
Now, we're talking about the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon and the Eagles. We haven't even mentioned who was the kicker on the Eagles in 1997.
Oh, who was the kicker in the Eagles in 1997 in real life?
If you thought Bobby Hoying invoked WTF vibes, wait till you hear this one. Chris Boniel.
Who that guy be?
Well, like I said, the WTF vibes, but he played for Dallas. He was the kicker on Dallas when they won the Super Bowl back in '95.
Well, that's good. Unfortunately, he has a terrible last name that made me die of laughter.
O'Neal? Are you just laughing because it sounds like bone?
Yes.
Oh, kids. So, as I was saying, he was on the Super Bowl winning Cowboys team of 1995, which I do believe is the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
You know how bad it is for Brandon. He's had to see the Giants win 2 Super Bowls. He saw the Eagles win a Super Bowl, and he might see the Eagles win another Super Bowl this week.
I feel bad for Brandon, but I don't feel bad for Jerry Jones or anybody in Dallas.
Oh, especially now that they've hired Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach. And let me tell you from experience, Brian Schottenheimer is terrible.
He's not his father, apparently. Talking about Marty Schottenheimer, who oddly enough coached the Chiefs, who the Eagles are playing in the big game this week, but also he coached for the Chargers, and first team he coached with was the Browns. And he won everywhere he went. I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Because he didn't make a Super Bowl, Mike.
Well, that makes sense, but the thing is, regular season-wise, I mean, let's remember, Marty Schottenheimer, 20 years ago at this point, his Chargers went 14-2, and he got fired. True story.
Let's talk about this movie now. We have a cast in this movie. So we mentioned that Tony Danza plays Barney Gorman, the everyman garbage man of Philadelphia, who through some wacky circumstances ends up becoming the kicker of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Chico, who else do we have in this cast?
We have playing his wife, Marie Gorman, late by the name of Jessica Tuck. Jessica Tuck, best known for her role as Jillian Gray in 138 episodes of Judging Amy, and Nan Flanagan in 23 episodes of True Blood.
Playing the coach, Gus Rokenheimer, the longtime coach of the Eagles in this movie. And this is somebody who we've talked about a bunch of times on this podcast, Chico.
That would be Art LaFleur,
who was notable, guys, because he played Babe Ruth in The Sandlot.
And Chick Gandil in Field of Dreams.
Yes! And then playing Bubba, Chico.
I love this guy. Jaime Cardreach, or Jamie Cardreach, played the role of Tim on Malcolm and Eddie. Greg and I talked about this before the show. We talked about Tim on Malcolm and Eddie. He is a big guy. He will sit on your ass and tell you that you love him.
Yes.
And then we have, as Barney's father, Al Ruscio. He played Mr. Carlman in the feel-good film of 1995, Showgirls.
Oh, man. Mike, did you expect we were going to have a Showgirls reference tonight?
Given I did research before the show, yes, I knew we were going to talk about it. Hey, did I ever tell you guys about the time when I was at Hardball and I sat next to Joe Esterhaus and I just praised him high and low for Showgirls because it is the cinematic masterpiece of 1995. Everybody should get it now. 30th anniversary! There's the perfect reason. They need to do a 30th anniversary DVD release of showgirls with uncut footage, extra boobies, and even more boobies.
Hold on. I believe there is a 4K of it out now.
Steelbook?
I think so.
Nice.
Forget 4K. I want 36, 24, 36Ks.
God damn it, Mike. This is not the only actor in this movie who has worked with Kyle MacLachlan. Because playing the owner of the Eagles in this movie, Randolph Pratt, is the legendary Ray Wise.
That would be Robin Scherbatsky Sr. the Second.
Or Leland Palmer in Twin Peaks.
Or the Devil in Reaper.
Or Marvin in Fresh Off the Boat.
Yes! It's the dentist in Fresh Off the Boat, Marvin. Remember, he gave Randall Park some very nice teeth.
We have to talk about the person who actually found Barney Gorman kicking a load of trash a great distance. The character's name is just Eagles Recruiter, but it's an actress by the name of Julia Stewart, who is known for 98 episodes of Cold Squad. That is the Canadian answer to Cold Case.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought Cold Case in Canada would be called Cold Case A. Hey, look, I found a dead body in the ditch. That must be from the murder back in 1974. Let's take him back to the lab and do some investigation, eh?
Oh, Mike, that's a horrible impression of Canadian.
Hey, we missed you last week.
Well, I'm just talking. I'm talking to this new guy you got here. Yeah, that's right, Alan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we've been talking, me and Alan, and we're having some great times. He's been telling me a lot of great things that happened on the set of Growing Pains. Hey, Bill, did you know that in Canadian football, it's 3 downs to get a first down? No, that's some really amazing shit.
Was Bill Armstrong involved in Cold Case A? Did he find like a dead body in downtown Vancouver through all the hustle and bustle and all the Rolls Royces?
You know I didn't actually film that in Vancouver, right?
What do you mean you didn't film it in Vancouver?
I did all my stuff for the New Liars Club in some studio in LA. They just told me to record these lines.
What if I called you a liar? You are a member of the Liars Club now. Prove that you weren't in Vancouver.
I just told you, you son of a bitch.
But still, I would have loved to see you, Bill, guesting on an episode of, what was this called? Not Cold Case, or Cold Case A.
Squad.
Cold Squad. Oh, that sounds like it should be like superheroes living in a freezer or something. But I could see you like being a guest on Cold Squad, and you're like investigating the countryside just outside of Vancouver, and there's, a whole pile of dead bodies. And you're like, oh, I've got to take these downtown and do the hustle and bustle of doing autopsies. I could see that. Are there a lot of hustle and bustles going on with autopsies? I don't think so.
No, it's a very slow-moving business dealing with the dead. Not that I would know or anything, but I do work near a morgue.
Yeah, people are dying to get in there.
Anywho, we also have a couple of cameos. Chris Berman and Dan Dierdorf playing themselves.
Yeah, because Dan Dierdorf would still be on Monday Night Football. Actually, I think this would be his last season that just completed, because I think he went over to CBS when they got the NFL back in 98.
I do believe you're right about that.
Because I think he was replaced by Boomer.
And actually, I don't know if you knew this, Greg. Chris Berman actually has a series of baseball cards through Topps.
Oh, I didn't realize this.
It was just released, I want to say, in the last week or so, and I think he had to specially order it from the Topps website. But it's regular baseball cards, a different design, but like the insert cards have Chris Bermanism nicknames.
Oh, great.
Really cool looking set. I wish I would have hopped on board and gotten a box of that, but I'm saving my money because Cheers is coming out in about 3 weeks.
Now, I will say, though, I think the best card of Chris Berman is that 1989 Pro Set card that he has in that broadcaster set.
Pro Set 89 is like the most amazing set when it comes to the broadcasters. Al Michaels, I'm sure, never had another card before that. And you also had Greg Gumbel, RIP, and so many other personalities. Bob Costas had a card in that. And those were one per pack. So if you bought a box, maybe you could have gotten all, I think there are 30 cards.
I actually did pull. Now, you can vouch for me. During a taping, I opened a pack of 89 Pro Set, and I pulled a Merlin Olsen.
He did.
And it did say on the back of the card, Father Murphy.
I remember that. I had that card. So again, another confirmation there.
So, how does this story begin, Chico?
This story begins, as many stories begin, with an ordinary Joe picking garbage, doing what he loves, doing what the city of Philadelphia pays him to do. And then one day he discovers he has a bit of a kick to him. Probably out of annoyance because his beloved Philadelphia Eagles are mired in a slump. He has his own garbage truck. It has a sticky lever on it. It can only be jostled free with a swift kick. He didn't realize it until somebody tells you, hey, got a bit of a kick there. One day at the city dump, Barney kicks a water jug extremely far, and who should watch him but a group of Eagles scouts and Eagles executives led by Gus Rogenheimer, who would be the coach. We know he is not really the Eagles coach in 1997. That would be Ray Rhodes.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford Ray Rhodes because he's too busy coaching in real life.
Is that the excuse? I just wouldn't put him on there because, well, he sucked.
Well, that's true. That's why they hired Andy Reid 2 years later.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. I think he fell into the Springfield mystery spot after he got fired by the Eagles.
The executives of the Scouts notice him, and they sign him to a contract. They dub him a public relations gold mine, the field goal kicking garbage man.
Oh, that's terrible, Chico. The field goal kicking garbage man.
Donning a calf-high workman's boot, which I guess you do because, if I'm not mistaken, he goes through the rigmarole of learning how to kick a football. He's going to do what comes natural to him. So he has a calf-high workman's boot. And he wins over his initially skeptical teammates and coaches, earning a sponsorship with a trash bag manufacturer and appearing on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Greg, I'm just saying this right now. If this happens to get redone in 2025, 27 years later, you know which garbage bag company they're going to get, and you know which spokesperson they're going to get. And you're never going to see that spokesperson on TV. It's going to be a mysterious floating garbage bag.
That is true. You know, I've seen these hefty bag ads lately, and I'll say this. They're being held by thin air. This does not make any sense. It's like they're being held by somebody, but you can't see who it is. You know what? All I'm going to say is I better hope that tomorrow night at the WWE Royal Rumble, I hope I don't see like some wrestlers being floated in thin air go over the top rope.
Spoiler, he totally is. What? How am I going magically over the top rope? Oh no! Why do the wrestlers sound like Tom Poston? I'm sorry.
Could you imagine Tom Poston in a wrestling match?
What? You want me to take the ball where? Oh no!
That's only if it's the Raw Ball from 1986 that they can do that in wrestling.
Barney joins the Eagles. He's not accepted by his teammates, especially his roommate, Bubba Downs, played by Jaime Cartridge. But he makes a lot of important field goals. He wins the trust of his players, and he gets the nickname.
Hold on a second. Before you do, hold on a second. Somebody's coming into the room. Hold on, let me just see who it is.
He gets. That's right. He gets the nickname, the G-Man.
Oh yeah, it's me. I'm back here, the G-Man. Hey guys, what?
You don't look like Tony Danza.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about a guy who picks garbage and kicks field goals.
Oh really? That sounds amazing. What's he called?
He's called the garbage pick and field goal kick in Philadelphia phenomenon.
Oh, no, that's too long of a name, to be honest.
That's what everybody says. They said, like, it was almost the Chicago phenomenon. True story.
Well, you know who's not hold on. You know who's not a Chicago phenomenon? It's Cody Parkey.
Oh, God. Yeah, because Cody Parkey, like the rest of the Chicago Bears, sucks out loud.
Double doink. And I'm not talking about Matt Bourne's cocaine problem.
I'm half tempted to just let the G-Man do the rest of the show. This is awesome.
And if the G-Man does the rest of the show, I want this background music playing for the rest of the show. I was just getting into it. I was starting to dance. Oh my gosh. We've had the Ghost of Bill Armstrong, and we had Alan Thicke, and we had the G-Man.
Oh, is that who this guy is? New guy on the show? Yeah, that's the Ghost of Bill Armstrong. You want to meet him?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was on one episode of Cold Squad back in sometime, and he played some, like, roving, like, mystery man who finds a dead body outside of Vancouver, and there's a Rolls Royce nearby and stuff. I don't get it. But anyhow, G-Man, yes, meet Bill Armstrong, or the Ghost of.
What exactly is it that you do, G-Man? Well, I do things. I ride motorcycles here and there, and I actually do run the skate shop from the NES game Skate or Die.
Bill Armstrong does not understand what an NES is.
I don't know what any of this means. Look, all I have is a Commodore PET. That's good enough for me.
I was going to say, Bill Armstrong is confused by Pong. Let's not even bring NES into this.
I do mad wonders programming a Commodore VIC-20.
So did I back in 1983, but enough about that. I thought Bill Armstrong was seriously a Vectrex guy. Just my opinion. The game has the monitor built in.
Right? And it's not pixels. It's all lines, man.
It's vector-based.
It's awesome.
You know what I miss? I miss Chef Lobo.
Back to the show, please.
The G-Man, Barney, the man with the golden leg, starts to, get all up in his head, And that's the one thing you don't want to be, is all up in your head when you are getting up in the league. You start believing your own press. He talks down to his teammates, he neglects his family, and next thing you know, wouldn't you know it? He misses a potential game-winning field goal, knocking the Eagles out of contention for the playoffs. I didn't even know they were in the playoffs. or at least a playoff hunt, at least.
No, the movie does not do a good job explaining what's going on with the Eagles during the season.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
One of the people who is really high up is just a random diner who happens to take a shine to the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, you want to box these morning?
I know, but I'll wrestle you for it.
He's always that
Here's your juice.
Way to go, Barn. We're real proud of you, man.
Oh, thanks very much. Thank you, big guy.
This new Eagles owner must be a good guy.
And what's the joke, Chico?
The guy who says it is Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles.
The actual owner of the Eagles.
So now, guys, it's time for a Greg Diener amazing discovery.
I'll play the intro.
Now here's the host of Amazing Discoveries, Mike
Klaus.
With Greg Diener.
Now, guys, here's an amazing fact that I found out about Jeffrey Lurie. Did you know that he was a producer on the 1991 Kathleen Turner classic, V.I. Warshawski?
Before you said that, I did not know that. I guess somebody had to take the blame for V.I. Warshawski. It didn't do so well at the box office.
No, but he apparently had enough money that he would buy the Eagles in 1994.
Well, back then, 1994, NFL teams cost what? Like $40, I think.
Well, let me just say this. At least he didn't gamble away all his money like Leonard Toews and nearly moved the team to Phoenix.
That must be a reference I don't get.
Leonard Toews was the owner of the Eagles in the 1980s, and around 84, he owed so much in gambling debts that he was trying to move the team to Phoenix.
Oh, geez.
And true fact, the Eagles, for a moment, they almost became the Phoenix Eagles in 1984. Think about how different history would have been if the Eagles went to Phoenix.
Nobody would watch a show called It's Always Sunny in Phoenix.
Well, it always is sunny in Phoenix. But even worse, what happens to the football team? Do the Cardinals move from St. Louis to Philadelphia in the 80s? So you've got the Philadelphia Cardinals? The timeline is just totally screwed up if that happens.
Maybe the Cardinals moved to Baltimore instead of Philadelphia in 88? I don't know.
If they don't go to Baltimore, then what happens to the Browns in 1995 when Art Modell gets rid of the team?
Maybe they go to Memphis.
Maybe they go to Philadelphia and become the Philadelphia Browns. No, that doesn't work out. But again, alternate timelines. We're doing a lot of spitballing here. We've got a movie we need to continue talking about.
Yeah.
This is a family movie, so obviously there needs to be a family bend, and because Tony Danza is missing his family and getting all up in his head with all this fame and whatnot, he has a moment where he forgets what's really important, and that is winning football games because of his awesome leg. He has a moment where he misses a kick. So he goes to a bar, depressed, dejected, lonely. An attractive blonde sits next to him and says, "Can I take a picture with you?" Caught off guard, he takes a picture. What he doesn't know is the blonde just wants to give him a peck on the thing right there. She says thanks, giving him a alluring smile, walking away. The next day, ownership comes in and suspends him from the team.
Oh, no.
It gets worse. He misses a date with his wife.
Oh, that's even worse.
It gets worse.
How's it get more worse?
That the picture he took with the blonde is in the newspaper.
Oh, my God.
The only way this gets better is if his wife's name is Angela and he has to go groveling back to her. Angela, take me back, Angela. I know that's the kicker who got released or what have you, But I would just love if the kicker sounded like Tony Danza and was going back to his wife named Angela.
Angela, it's not what you think, Angela.
Angela, it's not what you think.
Mona, tell her it's a big misunderstanding.
His wife, Marie, finds the newspaper with his picture and puts it and the rest of his belongings out on the lawn, leaving a suitcase at the door with that photo.
Oh. So now he's got to be out on the streets in Philadelphia all by himself. He has nowhere to go. Oh, but then, oh God, this happens to him on the streets of Philadelphia.
Is that Santa?
Yeah.
They just burned him in effigy!
Mike, can you believe that? They burned Tony Danza in effigy.
I want to go back to Chico referencing Santa back there. Oh my gosh. When did Philadelphia and Santa Claus make up? Historically, in case you don't know, Philadelphia fans have booed and thrown snowballs at Santa in the past. And probably have put batteries in the snowballs because that seems like a Philadelphia thing to do.
By the way, we mentioned the diner. The waitress is played by Karen Robinson from Schitt's Creek.
Never Canadian favorite. Ray Wise says to Tony Danza, "It was a great story, but I got to kick you off the team." But then what happens, Chico?
Bit of soul searching happens. He realizes why he became who he became to get to where he is today. Barney's like, let me go apologize to Marie. Let me go apologize to Danny, his son. Let me go apologize to my dad, Al Ruscio. And let me apologize to my teammates. One game left in the season. Absolutely all to play for. You know what's better than a feel-good story? A redemption story.
He dresses for the last game of the season on Christmas Eve against the Cowboys. And this is back in the day when the NFL decided, let's not own every freaking day on the calendar like Roger Goodell wants to do. Because you know who's apparently calling this Christmas Eve game? Chris Berman's calling this Christmas Eve game.
See, he would probably have a better nickname for Barney than the title of this movie.
I think at one point he calls him Barney Rubble Goldman.
That's weak sauce from Chris Berman.
It's no Quick John McGraw.
It's no Burt B. Home Bly-Levin. That might be the best ever. I'm just saying.
I just went with Quick John McGraw because every time I'd play ESPN NFL 2K5 and I got an interception with him on the Jets and they went to the halftime highlights, that's what he'd use. Barney, he's not going to play in the game. But the kicker, who was the kicker he replaced at the start of the movie, because the reason he got signed by the Eagles was because the kicker he replaced missed like a big kick the week before. So he's just sitting like on the bench while Barney's kicking, and he's still down because he missed that big kick in that one game. But he learns from Barney, you know what? Because Barney, he does like the old school straight ahead kick style from like the 70s and whatever. And the kicker's like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I should do that. So he lines up for a field goal early in the game. And guess what? He kicks it straight ahead and it's good. That's the good news. The Eagles are up 3-0. The problem is, thanks to NFL film stock footage of Troy Aikman, the Cowboys just beat the living smack out of the Eagles in the first half and lead 28-3.
Yeah, we know the obvious.
The Cowboys are up on the Eagles going into the second half. So the coach gives a big speech, but Barney, he inspires his teammates to go out and perform in the second half. And You know what happens? The Eagles start coming back, Chico.
Redemption story coming.
Now we're in the fourth quarter. It's now 28-23 in the fourth quarter. But here's like the problem here. It's like fourth down with 21 seconds left. And the Eagles are on this is like what, a 30, 40 yard to the end zone for the Eagles here. So you know what the coach calls for? Down 28-23. He calls for a field goal down 5 points. So the Eagles kick a field goal. It's 28-26. So they decide, we're going to do the onside kick. It's crazy enough. It just might work. And guess what? It works. Barney's celebrating with the kicker, and you're not going to believe what happens. He headbutts him so hard. He gives him a concussion.
Is this guy like Josh Naylor when he headbutted Terry Francona after hitting a home run?
What happened here? I headbutted him.
The Eagles are going to have to do without the services of Mitchell. Get this. He was knocked unconscious by a headbutt administered by one Barney Gorman.
It's got to be up to Barney to kick the winning field goal. Here's the final kick.
You ready? It's just a game.
Gorman for the winning field goal. Hits it from Lawrence. Casey's got it. Rolling right. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He throws it to Gorman.
Run, Gorman, run!
Avoids one tackle. Gorman is still on his feet. He's mine. Gets a big
Bubba
down. Gorman's at the 5. He could go all the way. And he does. Touchdown, G-Man. Philadelphia wins.
Final score, Eagles 32, Cowboys 28.
I didn't know Tony Danza had such hops. I know it's the stunt double or whatnot, but Tony Danza at this point would have been probably in his late 40s. Maybe not late 40s, but at least mid 40s. Greg, you haven't talked about who actually did the kicking in this movie, because it wasn't Tony Danza, obviously.
Yeah. The kicker for Tony Danza, the stunt kicker, is Indianapolis Colts kicker Mike Vanderjagt. Because this is an explanation. This is a Canadian production. Where was Mike Vanderjagt from? Canada.
For those who don't know, Greg, where would we maybe best know Mike Vanderjagt from, besides the fact that he kicked for the Dallas Cowboys and the Colts, and I think the Toronto Argonauts as well at some point. But why would he be known outside of NFL realms?
Because in a classic sideline interview by Lynn Swann with Peyton Manning at the 2003 Pro Bowl. And it's funny enough that this involves Lynn Swann after last week, proving again, nothing is planned on this show. It's just coincidence. Lynn asked Peyton this question about his kicker, Mike Vanderjagt.
Now, you talk about trust and confidence. There was an article, a story, Mike Vanderjagt and your team made some comments questioning maybe your passion and and the personality of you and Tony Danza as to being winners.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, Lynn. Here we are. I'm out of my 3rd Pro Bowl. I'm about to go in and throw a touchdown to Jerry Rice. We're honoring the Hall of Fame. We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off. So, hey, Al, Dan, what has the sports world come to? We're talking about idiot kickers. He has ruined kickers for life. Akers and Vinatieri, these guys are great guys. They've been getting killed all week because our idiot ran his mouth.
Interestingly enough, David Akers, who did he play for at this time? The Philadelphia Eagles. And Adam Vinatieri, also mentioned there, he replaced Mike Vanderjagt as the place kicker in Indianapolis. Go figure.
And no wonder they won a Super Bowl immediately after getting Adam Vinatieri. So what did we learn from this movie?
Disney likes to rip off other movies because, if I'm not mistaken, they did this before with Rookie of the Year with Thomasy and Nicholas.
Well, that was Fox, but technically you could say they did because Disney now owns that movie. But hold on, we didn't talk about the whole thing with Bubba, about how Barney was helping him cut weight. There's this subplot where Bubba has to cut weight, and so Barney helps him cut weight. But the training montage they do as he's trying to cut weight is... Do you want to say what the song is, Chico?
It was Get Ready by the Temptations.
Yeah, that was awesome. Mike, what did you learn from this movie?
I learned that the Philadelphia Eagles, in the last 30 seconds of this game, have no clue what to do when you're down 5. You don't kick the ball. I know it makes for a good ending to a movie, but still.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Nobody thought about football strategy in 1998. You know what I learned? Ray Wise knows that if you're going to build a stadium, don't put it in a garbage dump. Because that's what they did when they were scouting him and they accidentally found Barney. They were scouting like for a new stadium and he was like, I'm not putting a new stadium in this dump.
They did end up releasing the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon on home video about 3 months later on May 19th, 1998.
Wait, hold on. Did you say May 19th?
May 19th, yes.
May 19th! May 19th! May 19th!
It'll make sense in the final edit.
They never released it on Blu-ray or DVD, and surprisingly, it was not available on Disney Plus. If you want to watch the film, it is available in its entirety on YouTube at the time of this recording.
You think Disney Plus would capitalize on the Eagles? Well, it's red hot right now with them in the Super Bowl. But then you'd have to go through all the trouble of digitizing it. It's probably like all like rendered in standard definition because this was for 480, and it's like, yeah, we're not going to remaster this for like an upscale this. Screw that. Now, if you want to get it from Canada, it is $6 Canadian.
But they're going to kill you on shipping.
It's $8 shipping Canadian.
Well, hold on. If this is in Canada, wouldn't it be the garbage picking, field goal kicking Vancouver phenomenon? And it was played by the ghost of Bill Armstrong. I'm going to make this field goal. And 75-year-old man kicks the ball, and he somehow becomes a savior in British Columbia.
Like, I'm going to be kicking for the BC Lions.
Well, you know, you're in the area solving cold cases for Mod Squad or whatever it is called. Cold Squad, I know. You know, why not do everything that's possible in Vancouver? You're solving cold cases. You're announcing on the new Liars Club. Now you're kicking field goals for the BC Lions. You could do it all.
Well, at the end of the day, the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon in 1998 on the wonderful world of Disney. This was certainly a thing on TV.
You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time.
What happens in the mid-1970s when someone decides, let's start a league to rival the NFL. And you have like weirdly colored ball, and you have like a system where like you don't take an extra point, you just run a play, like a 2-point conversion, but it's for 1 point only. And then what happens if like everybody's stiffed out of money and teams move during the middle of the season?
One more thing you're missing, Greg. Your description's great, but we get to talk about the Dickerod.
The dick, yeah.
See, Greg, before the show, he couldn't stop laughing when I said Dickerod. Now, he's not doing the laughing. I'm doing the laughing.
Oh, wait. And also Larry Zonka is going to be mentioned, too.
Among other NFL players, he was not the only big name to join this endeavor.
No. But you'll find out more about this in our next episode of It Was a Thing on TV. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you with that episode next time. Wow!
Oh, Nancy, dozy, dozy, little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Oh, Nancy, dozy, little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Now, if the words sound queer and funny to your ear, a little bit tumble and divey, say mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. I'm back. Back and ready.
Now I feel like tap dancing on top of a desk.
And